and she's Rosa Corey. And she is an executive director of the Post-Sustainability Institute. She is a forensic commercial real estate appraiser specializing in eminent domain evaluation. She, again, has written a book on Agenda 21. A book is excellent. We'll tell you about that as well, exposing Agenda 21 and sustainable development. In the minute or two before we go to break, just give people a synopsis of what Agenda 21 is, and we'll come back and break down this global corporate takeover system.
Well, you know what? It's not that it's going to impact you. It's impacting you right now. Agenda 21 is a plan to inventory and control all resources, human and natural, and all means of production in the world. And this is the process that is happening right now in every single city, town, community, in the entire world. And you're seeing it right now in the United States. It's a global plan, and it's implemented locally.
We've got about a minute and a half before we go to break. How did you get tuned into this? How did you discover this?
Well, I've been doing research. Of course, I'm a forensic appraiser. I appraise property in the 9 counties of the San Francisco Bay Area. And in doing my research, I found in researching redevelopment, I found that it's a funding and implementation arm for United Nations Agenda 21. And in doing this research, I had to be able to support everything that I was coming up with, because I might have to at some point testify regarding this information. So everything that I've come up with, and of course this is available to all people. It's very available on the United Nations websites as well as many others. This is all true and supportable. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy fact, and it's happening right now.
It's happening right now through the zoning boards, all of it. It is so diabolical. I've been to the Smart Growth conferences. They admit this is total feudalism. Right here in Austin, giant power bill increases, and they say it's for the earth, just charging you more. Nothing is going to affect your life physically, economically, like Agenda 21. It is the total takeover of society. Home inspectors, no more single-family homes. We've played that Plandopolis clip that they show in England to school kids, where everything you do is going to be monitored. You'll have to get authorization to travel. Calorie credits. This is all official. In fact, 20 years ago, they called it at the Agenda 21 conference. That's where the term comes from that they had. Maurice Strong called it a post-industrial world. And 20 years later, they're about to meet again in Rio de Janeiro. Now, we've got Rosa Corey, who's author of Behind the Green Mask. It's available at Amazon.com. I'm going to order it in bulk and also carry it soon at Infowars.com. But we have a link to where you can find it at Infowars.com right now. She has really studied it. And again, I've got so many points I want to add to back her up. But I'm going to try to shut up and let her roll here now, coming up especially in the next segment, so she can really go into how it ties into everything. But please continue.
Wow, well, great. You know, the thing is, this is not, as I said, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy fact. And back in 1987, the United Nations, the World Conference on, the World Commission on Environment and Development, stated that the environment was under attack, that the planet was being destroyed by human beings. And they came up with sustainable development. This is a concept. Now you've heard it everywhere, right? Sustainable. You've got sustainable yogurt now. But sustainable development is, the concept is that the needs of the present are developed without compromising future generations' ability to meet their own needs. So, of course, then they determined that, yes, everything we were doing now was threatening the ability of future generations to meet their needs. And that commission was sent out to come back with an action plan for the 21st century. And that's what Agenda 21 is. That's why it's called Agenda 21. It's the agenda for the 21st century. And this is, as I said, it's a plan to inventory and control you and everything that has to do with your life, everything having to do with the planet. So it's inventorying and controlling all water, all land use. We're talking about the potential of losing control of everything that we have, including our own bodies. And what you find with Agenda 21 is it's divided into two elements, which is smart growth and the wildlands. And what happened after, of course, we know that it was signed onto, Agenda 21 was signed onto by George H.W. Bush in 1992, and then it was brought back to the United States to be implemented here. Clinton, in 1993, established the President's Council on Sustainable Development, and that was made up of 12 cabinet-level secretaries, including defense, education, agriculture, energy, all of these, administrative level cabinet positions were all in on this, and along with, of course, our captains of industry like Ken Lay from Enron, Dow Chemical, and then you have the environmental groups as well, Natural Resources Defense Council and others. And they all got together and they said, how are we going to get Agenda 21 into every single town, city, state, county in the entire United States? So they decided that they wanted to focus on controlling land use. And what they did was they gave a multi-million-dollar grant to the American Planning Association. And they said, can you guys come up with a plan for us that we can get into every planning
Stay
department?
right there. Let's explain how. That's why there's global standardization. That's why the exact same system worldwide is being set up. They admit they're doing it. Now, Homeland Security, just 2 weeks ago, was at Davos and said they're going to run sustainability. It's a war for sustainability. Incredible. We're going to break down how it's already affecting you and how it's going to affect you straight ahead. The Desert News and the Associated Press last week ran articles. Head of UN Ban Ki-moon wants world tax for social service programs, but that means eugenics, sterilization, abortion. But there he is announcing that they want this world tax. In fact, we'll put that on screen for prisonplanet.tv viewers. If you're a radio listener, which is the majority of our audience that listens on XM and over 100 AM and FM stations, you can simply type in UN leaders consider world tax to fund social protection services. Oh, well, it's for the children. Here's another one at Infowars.com with a direct link to the World Development Report funded by the World Bank. Suggests that once they've imploded the economy, go read it, and made people dependent, that to get your welfare check, the sterilization van will arrive at your home and sterilize you. 1984 World Bank report contemplates sterilization vans and camps for those to make it sustainable. The 1996 Sustainability UN Biological Diversity Assessment, I have it in my film Road to Tyranny screenshots, actually says use war to reduce population and calls for putting sterilants in the water, just like White House science czar John P. Holdren does. By the way, they're already adding it. It's called sodium fluoride. It reduces fertility, gives you a 7-fold increase in bone cancer alone. And we just earlier showed you the UN's own site where, in fact, I have another article right here. UN panel says retool world economy for sustainability, and the UN will decide under treaty what you can do. And now when I go in restaurants, they say, are you sure you want water? It's not good for the earth. Meanwhile, the major corporations can do whatever they want. They can release GMO, toxic waste. None of that's a problem. It's about teaching you you're bad. So as the World Bank says, by taxing carbon, what you exhale, they can control all human activity. And they always point a camera at a smokestack releasing water vapor on a cold day, just like when you breathe and say, oh, look, it's toxic waste. Nothing's coming out of the coal plants, but water vapor and carbon dioxide. So you control everything that way, but then you also say all human activity's bad, and the bureaucrats, under global standardized rules, they will decide everything you can do. Now, as my guest pointed out, it's going to get a lot worse under this, and California is the model. Austin's kind of a satellite of that. But you're already living under this. So she's got the floor for the rest of the hour. She is just an amazing researcher and author of Behind the Green Mask. We have a link at Infowars.com to where you can find it. I'm going to carry this book on our online video bookstore. It's so amazing. And again, the reason she blows me away is when I heard her on the radio for an hour the other day, everything she was saying I knew was true, but the way she was tying it together. And again, it's so frustrating when you know criminals are taking over while selling you that they're saving you. It's so sick. You just want to beat them. And it's Nazism. The Nazis said the earth was overpopulated and they were going to have environmentalism. It's about a power grab. So Rosa Corey, Executive Director of Post-Sustainability Institute, a forensic commercial real estate appraiser, break down again briefly for those that just joined us what it is, the global standardization, and how they're controlling our local towns and cities to openly just triple charges for water, quadruple charges for power, to pay mega corporations like Ken Lay, who came up with the plan. You've got the floor.
Right. Well, you know, this is it. It's a corporatocracy, and it is being instated to develop a totalitarian government over you. It is one world government. This is globalization, and it's being instated slowly, somewhat slowly, although it's speeding up now, because we're finding that we're experiencing regionalization now, which is the erasure of borders between cities, counties, states, and ultimately nations. And when you lose your sovereignty, you don't want to just look at it in terms of losing your national sovereignty. You also lose your sovereignty over your person, over yourself. So you have for instance, the National Defense Authorization Act, which defines enemy combatants as being people who are very much like ourselves, who are here in the United States. So this plan, it's a global plan, but it's implemented locally. And if you think it's not affecting you right now, I tell you that you are wrong. It's impacting you immediately in your own city, in your town, out in the rural areas.
It's designed, in their words, to shut down the economy. Look at the economy shutting down. They know what they're doing.
That's right. This is designed to, your economy is designed to be destroyed. This, you know, if an enemy were trying to destroy the country, they couldn't do a better job than this plan. And that is the plan. That is what the desired result is. Because the more dependent people you have, and the less people who own private property, the less people there are to care if there is private property and private property rights, and the less people there are to stand up and say that it's wrong. And you are your ultimate private property. So what's happening now is that we are losing our rights over our private property, over our water, over our land. You're finding people in the rural areas are being moved out of the rural areas into the cities. And the cities are being replanned to have high-density urban development. What that means is that smart growth, which is ground floor retail with several stories of residential above, built right to the edge of the sidewalk, right in the center of your town on a supposed transportation line, whether it's there or not, and oftentimes using your property tax dollars to pay for that. And what happens is the people in the rural areas find that, oh, well, you've just said it, hay dust is now considered to be an environmental pollutant. You find that your roads are being pulverized and turned to dust out in the rural areas. Your well is being monitored, so you may not have the use of your water. You think you own your land right from the center of the earth right to the sky, but you don't, not anymore, because this is a communitarian plan. It's the plan that actually balances individuals' rights against the rights of the community. In this case, we're talking about the global community, and the individual always loses.
And the bureaucrats always decide. You know, the part you were breaking down is how these regional governments end up getting the tax money, so the local government becomes a total vassal, and now they have actual corporations in Rhode Island, in Michigan, and other areas saying no city council, period, anymore, and we're going to triple your water to pay it to ourselves, even though it's a foreign corporation, and it's not even a free market. This isn't privatization. It's just pure hijacking. And then the actual Austin City Council said, we're going to give you 20 to 80% increases on power. It's for the earth.
Yeah, that's right. You see community aggregate, energy aggregation, where, you know, now your town is supposed to be going into the energy business, and they're going to put up a big solar array, and you're going to be paying for it. And this is the way that they sink your economy. When you look at it from that point of view, high-speed trains are a total failure and a way to lose your total control over your ability to spend your transportation dollars, because there's never going to be enough money for those high-speed trains. And this is a way to enforce regionalization. They are a building block for mega regions, and we have those right now in the United States.